For the last year, I have been thinking a lot about AI, and especially when it comes to video creating, photography, and just creativity overall. And to be honest, my thoughts hasn't been very positive. I have felt worried, concerned, and it has even led to lack of motivation. Let me explain. The rise of AI during the last 1.5 years hasn't escaped anyone, I think. Of course, AI has been in the making during the last decades, and I think the development really started in the 1950s. But I would say that the spark that lit the fire was at the end of 2022 when OpenAI launched the ChatGPT-3. And the rest is history. AI has become the new buzzword. Everyone is talking about it. All of the big tech companies releasing their own versions, and the progress of what these models can do has really skyrocketed, and it just goes so fast. Which also makes one think, where will it all end? There are those who really swear by AI and says that this is the tool who will save humanity, that will solve all of our problems, that we will live in this new utopia. And then, of course, you have those who say that this will be the end of humanity. I have listened to a pair of really interesting podcasts, and I've been reading a couple of books on the subject, and I have tried to develop myself and just to read a little bit about this subject to gain more information. And I must say that what I heard and what I have read has really had a big impact on me. One of the podcasts that I enjoyed the most was by Nick Boström, who is I believe Swedish American, and he has written the book Super Intelligence, and now he just came out with a new book, Deep Utopia. It's more about what could a future with AI look like if everything works out. What could be the best of worlds? It's really interesting when he talks about that we might have to reevaluate work and jobs, because so much in our society is about jobs. But what if we don't have to work anymore? What if there is no need for it? And what will everyone do? Then also I would like to recommend I Love AI by Arash Gillan. He is one of those who have a more optimistic view on AI and how you could use it to your advantage in your everyday life. And then one book that I really enjoyed, and I also heard a podcast with him, and he has been called the world's smartest Swede. His name is Max Tegmark, and he wrote the book Life 3.0, to be human in the world of AI. And this book was really interesting, and I do recommend it. It was actually written a few years back, and he also created, together with his wife, I believe, an organization trying to establish certain rules and so on that everyone will unite around, so that it doesn't go too fast and that we don't develop something that we can't control. It has been hard not to be affected about these really smart people that argue for that this is the beginning of the age of machines and that this might be the end of humanity. And for me, my conclusion has been that I don't think that it is very smart to develop something that is smarter than ourselves. It will be very hard to control. And what if this intelligence has a different goal than we have as humanity? If its goal, whatever it might be, doesn't include us on this planet. And I'm not talking about robots like a Terminator going around and killing people and so on. I don't think that that will happen. But it will also be hard to try to imagine how something will take over that is smarter than we are. It will probably do things that we can't even imagine. But yeah, that is a different discussion, and in this video I would just like to talk about how it relates to my work as a photographer and a video creator, because I think that the main thing for me when it comes to this, and the biggest problem for me, is that AI makes it too easy, it removes the fun, and everything is just becoming fake. For me, this started with photography. It was last summer, I think, that Lightroom released a new generative AI, and suddenly you didn't have to mask anything almost. It was possible to change the sky, to change the subject, to have perfect lighting, and just create images within your imagination, creating instead of taking. And yeah, I know there is a debate that even changing the light and changing the contrast and changing a bit of the colors is also to modify the photo. And of course, I agree with that. But for me, this just reached another level. And when you were able to suddenly remove whole objects and change skies and stuff and just make up your own photos, I didn't like that at all. For me, a lot of the fun thing about being a photographer was also the creativity, but also to get out there, to put in the work. It required from you to have certain skills. You needed to have the lens and the camera, and then you needed to have some kind of skill. And then you took a photo and you felt like, yeah, I went out there during the golden hour. And yeah, I really wanted to capture those clouds with the perfect lighting. And I was there at the right time and I nailed it. And yes, that feeling you get when you nail a photo and you know that it is really hard to fake that. It required from you to put in the effort. It was not something that could be made by an AI or faked. And back to that time when you just couldn't put up your cell phone and just snap a snapshot and it turned out to be a great photo. I don't know, I just miss those days a bit when there was a bigger differences between the camera in the cell phone and the mirrorless cameras. I don't know if anything of this makes sense, but if there is anyone there on the other side of the screen that do understand what I feel and what I say. Anyways, my point is that I felt like AI was starting to remove what was fun with photography and videography. It would soon be too easy to do this. Everyone would be able to make up their nice movies and take the best photos. And of course, that is fun. I want everyone to be able to take great photos and to make great videos. But there is something rewarding with putting in the effort and putting in the work, that everything isn't that easy. So yeah, that made me a bit sad, and that led me to losing the motivation last year for taking photos professionally. I continued to take photos for my own sake, for the reason that even got me started with this, to save the memories, and also because I think it's fun to use my creativity in this way. So yeah, I was in a place where I thought that AI would take over everything. Would there even be a place for a videographer soon? For me, it felt so boring and so sad if everything would be made up by AIs and all that we saw was just AI avatars, and all of the movies out there and the photos that we saw and everything was just made by AI. I do understand that there is a big possibility that we are heading that way. But I just want to end this video with what kind of changed my mind a little bit and what made me get the spark back for creating once again. Because when I started to have these thoughts for about 1.5 years back, it felt like everything would happen so fast and that by this time we would almost be there even. But I have come to realize that the future is not here yet. It might be that way in 1 year, in 3 years, in 5 years, in 10 years. Nothing is certain. No one knows for sure. Even if people seem very confident and are putting out prophecies about either this or that. But I think we have to be humble for the fact that no one really knows what the future will look like. And at least for me, I will continue to push through and do my thing as long as I can. And it might be a day where there are no jobs out there for photographers or videographers, or I even feel like maybe I want to do something else. But that day is not here yet, so that's why I'm going to continue to push through, and I will continue to enjoy my craft and do that for as long as I can and want to. And no matter what happens, I will continue to create for my own purpose and to take photos to remember stuff and things, just to document and to use my creativity. And no matter the advanced level of the AI, they can't take that away from me. I will end this video with one thing that Max wrote on a positive note, and that is what is human will probably be worth even more in the future. So what makes you, you're conscious and you're special, and what is human? Consciousness is that what makes us unique from the AI. We shouldn't compete with AI in terms of mathematics and fast calculations and so on. There is no way that we're able to win over the AI in those fields. But instead, on the other hand, we have a consciousness, and we should use that at our best way. What makes us human is something that is really unique and that no machine yet can compete with. So to use our strengths together with the AI, that is what could bring a great future to us all. And we must really care about the consciousness, not just us, but all over the world, with the animals and with every living thing. Because if something goes wrong and consciousness, and I know that there are many different ways to define what consciousness is, because imagine if consciousness was wiped out by AI, wouldn't it be sad to just have a huge big universe with no life in it, with no one to enjoy the universe, everything? Then what would be the point of it all? That's why I think it's so important to handle the AI with care, because we really need to watch over the life and to make sure that life isn't extincted or wiped out by AI, because in the huge universe, life on Earth is just a little stream of light, and we need to make sure that this little spark isn't blown out, because that would be sad. There is still something that is human and with consciousness that can't be replaced by AI. And I would really like to know, maybe you watching this is a creator of any sort. What are your thoughts on AI? Are you worried, or are you excited, or maybe both? It would be fun to hear. And yeah, I must just say that I am very excited for the future, and I'm looking forward to see how everything will unfold. We do live in exciting times, that's for sure. But thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider to do so. And yeah, I wish you all the good. I hope that you take care, have a good rest of your day, and I will see you next week. Bye.